thought, I think clearly Georgetown played, with intelligence, aggressiveness, and they sustained their effort and level of execution for the 40 minutes, and thoroughly dominated us in every aspect of play. I thought first 8 minutes, maybe in the second half, our team showed some grit, some resolve, and cut it to 6, and we had some possessions where it could have been, cut even closer in terms of, we could have cut the deficit to even a closer score. But then Georgetown responded, went on another run of their own, and closed out the game and assaulted the victory away in impressive fashion.
Questions for Coach Lavin?
You guys played a lot of zone second half. 2 questions. To start it off, was that 1-3-1 or 2-3? And number 2, why didn't you play more zone first half?
Let's see. Well, we've been, I think one of the reasons we've been making a lot of progress in our man-to-man. And so the zone had caused us some problems in earlier losses, in particular, I think, at Notre Dame. And the one concern with the zone is, there are stretches where patient teams are going to get open looks. And we've also played a number of really good shooting teams this year: St. Mary's, Northwestern, Davidson, Georgetown. So we try and mix, but against Cincinnati, I was pleased with our defense, and we played probably 95% man-to-man. So we felt we were having a breakthrough in that area. I thought in the first half, no surprise, but it really was magnified tonight was Paris Horn's 2 fouls, because he was so critical in the game the first time around against Georgetown defensively, and in every aspect. He's kind of a one-man press out front in terms of his ball pressure, and then he helps so well because of his speed to collapse into the post and get back to shooters, and he's alert. He brings great energy, and we call him our Bruce Bowen, of the Johnnies. So, but I think we go back and watch game film. It's very likely we may say we should have tried some more 13. We always 90% of the time we zone out of bounds under, so we get a couple looks at it. But I think the other concern is they were shooting so well. They were in rhythm. They were clicking, hitting on all cylinders. They run a precision-oriented offense in terms of passing and spacing and cutting and timing. And this was one of those nights where Pete Carroll, we light a cigar somewhere proud. Calling JT3 proud of one of his disciples' effort.
Can you compare Georgetown's defensive effort from the first time to this one? It seemed to me that baskets were a little harder to come by for you guys.
Yeah, I thought they really played with a sustained hard edge. There was an alert, aggressive mindset throughout, and it was reflected both in their offensively. The alertness was clearly theirs. They were hitting on all the right notes, so to speak, and making that that one more pass, whether it was a swing transport or the look inside and the reads to kick it back out to open shooters. There just was a real alert recognition of finding the open man, and just old school basketball. But they put on a clinic offensively, and then I think to your point, they played with a hard edge and aggressiveness of maybe a payback kind of a mentality, and talk to our kids about that. But second half of league, there's protecting your home court, number one. Just wanting to win games this stage of the season, and then sometimes, even though a coach doesn't even have to encourage it, kids have a lot of pride at this level, and they're competitive. And I'm sure Freeman, Clark, and Wright, had a mindset that they wanted to, get back at the Johnnies for the loss that we gave at the Garden.
Steve, it's now 5-6, and 2 of those losses have been by more than 20 points. What's your concern level about where they are emotionally, physically?
They've been good. Obviously you're always mindful, and you're always, you're going to continue to monitor every aspect of your team in terms of confidence, and whether it's confidence, or if you have success, then you're worried about their complacency. If you struggle, then you're worried about their confidence. But to this point, just based on, you know, the time that I've been with them, they've been really good about the way they've come back. For instance, Cincinnati, we weren't pleased with the 12 and 26 free throws, but I couldn't fault them in terms of their effort and their energy and you know, their execution. It was just we didn't finish from the foul line in that game. So their response, you know, after Fordham and after the St. Bonnie Fordham stretch, you know, we won 5 straight. I thought we had a good bounce back, you know, against Notre Dame after Syracuse, after Syracuse waxed us. So, you know, obviously we'll have a better idea against Duke in terms of, we'll have a better indication of that in the next couple days of practices, but then the real proof is in the pudding in terms of how do we play on Sunday against Duke.
Steve, you guys got off to 12-2 start, I think, in the second half, down 13. Are you surprised it got away after that? You kind of climbed back into it and then...
Yeah, we expended a lot of energy because we were pressing and trapping, and you know, we're also running, so we did expend a lot of energy to get back. It was frustrating on a couple possessions because it could have been closer in terms of that run. But also, you know, they're going to go on their own run because they're well coached and they've got good players, and so you kind of, you know at some point they're going to volley it back. You know, you can't just keep pounding them. But then they ran with it. You know, really didn't. They never did look back after they made that last surge.
Steve, the field goal percentages when you guys were winning were high. They're lower now. Is it? Are they not going for that extra pass the way that they used to be? Are they being more reliant on getting their own shots now?
I think maybe, you know, I'd say a combination of, you know, we need to get, on some possessions, better ball movement, but on a lot of possessions, we need to convert. You know, as we talked about before, it's the scoring droughts come when we run good offense, execute, and have a point-blank shot that don't finish, whether it's in the fast break, in transition, you know, you come up empty on wide-open shots or layups, then you go into the paint, and you don't convert or finish. Then in between somewhere there might be a couple shots too that you know you prefer. You make one more pass or try and get a better look, or that N1, you know, one more pass mentality. So I'd say it's more the stretches, the droughts, are when all 3 of those factors, and then throw turnovers in there and throw the missed free throws. So there's 5. And when those 5 factors all line up, missed free throws, turnovers, open shots that we don't convert, a couple of shots that we should have turned down, and now you've really got one of those stretches of low shooting percentage.
Do you think there's one common thing here in this losing 5 out of 6? Do you think there's one thing that you can point to that is consistently wrong?
No. I'd say, you know, because Cincinnati, we played so well. From start to finish, we just didn't make free throws. I've never been involved in a game where we're 12 for 26 and then had the 5 front ends and one and ones, so we were like 12 for 31. That was, in terms of a close game, there's games where, you know, Fordham, we shot under 50, St. Bonnie, we shot under 50. I mean, if there's a common theme in some of the losses, there'd be the free throw shooting, no doubt. You know, you're going to look at that in terms of close losses, they've been free throw shooting. But it's always that way, like putting and golf that we talked about. So I think, you know, the common theme is 6 consecutive top 25 opponents. Or is it 7 now? 7 consecutive top 25 opponents. I think that's the most common theme. And we just talked about as good as Syracuse is, you know, they're in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. And I don't know who they play next, but I doubt it's an unforgiving game. Anyone know who they play next?
Is there one more for Coach then? Joe, did you have?
Yeah, I'm covered.
Okay.
Okay, Bill, the last 5 minutes of the first half, you guys had matched that intensity. You got the lead down to 3. They didn't score the rest of the half. They got back to 13. You struggled to even get shots. Shot clock went way down. What was going on there? Was it what Georgetown was doing? Was it what you guys were doing?
I think, you know, for starters, the big picture, Georgetown, period, just played a really good basketball game. So, you know, when you start to break down things that as a coach you're never happy with, part of that is they're good, you know, and they're doing some things at a really high level, and they were locked in for 40 minutes, I thought, you know, in terms of execution and sustained effort, you know. But there's always things when you go back and watch game films that, you know, we also had, you know, combination when Paris, for me, when I look big picture in the game, the most devastating blow for us was having Paris Horn pick up the 2 early fouls, because he is the one, more than any other player on the team. He's the glove, he's the shutdown